Regarding price on travel insurance, it is very well known that in certain jurisdictions it was priced below what it should have been, and in some countries for many years. Now, as every insurance product that it's offered throughout the region and on the different classes of insurance, even property and casualty, we can have temporary disruptions between price and risk and claims. So it can be a few years on claims higher than premiums, but the industry will catch up. The market will offer and demand, and premiums and claims will eventually balance out. Now, because of COVID, we have seen actually a retraction of the offer on medical expense and travel products. So we have seen less reinsurers offering support to local insurers and local travel assistant companies. So that means higher prices. Also, as claims data comes in, as we speak, prices will they need to be, or they must be sufficient to pay for all claims. So it is in the best interest of travel assistant companies, travel insurance companies, even regulators from at country level to make sure that the premiums are sufficient. And yes, it will be a price increase in travel insurance. Now, will that deter the demand? I don't think so. I think it was way underpriced in certain countries. I think people will need to factor the travel insurance when they plan to travel, as they factor in the hotels and the airfares and many other variables into their travel plans. Travel insurance will be one of those factors going forward. And regarding the reinsurance software in Latin America and actually around the world, we need to understand the variables, why it's a reinsurer offering capacity, what attracts possible clients to trust on any given reinsurers. So reinsurance by definition is transnational, and it also falls when you see the top 10 or top 20 reinsurers, they're usually located in very stable, very big economies. We see the major reinsurance hubs in London, in Germany, in France, in Switzerland, in the US. And there are other ones that are becoming important. Bermuda is becoming quite important. It's a major reinsurance hub. And then we see Singapore and other Asian markets coming along. Within Latin America, we have pretty good examples and pretty good companies that are also starting to be relevant on the Latin American region. We have a Patria Re from Mexico, IRB from Brazil, Austral Terra also from Brazil, and there are smaller players in other countries. Equarri in Ecuador, Delta Mercantil, Ocean Re. So there are other smaller reinsurers on the early stages. We need to think about that the Lloyd's has 300 years of old, and many other European reinsurers are 100 plus years old. So when we see Latin American ventures getting into the reinsurance world, I applaud them. It's very nice to see that we have what we call local capacity coming into the play, but it's going to take many years, decades of really good work, solid work, together with the country where they are established, because you also have the risk of country and political risk that needs to be stable before a client or any possible client of those insurers will trust their financial solvency and assets into them. So it needs to be a formula of being a very stable and financial political country eventually, then your financial as a reinsurer, your financial asset and strength is very important, and then your capability. Not everybody knows how to manage travel insurance, and not everybody knows how to manage, I don't know, airplanes. So it's not only having the financial capacity, but also to have the expertise to manage those lines. And that's the winning formula. So LATAM, in that sense, it has been doing some early steps, I call it, on the long run. Still long way to go, but we see with very good eyes that some companies in certain countries are slowly becoming bigger and more important, and we would like to see that trend keep going forward, and hopefully government will support those companies, and they will make for example, the tax environment favorable for them to develop and become bigger and a more relevant player in the world, because reinsurance is a transnational business. So the hottest trends in the region are definitely the mandatory travel insurance requirements by the different governments, and I expect that to continue to be expanded across the different countries. That will pose um, technical challenges and pricing challenges, but it will be solved eventually. And reinsurance offering to support those programs, I believe it will be there when needed. The other trend is actually a reverse trend. I see on the major medical programs that many countries they become and they are offering better medical services across the region, and we have some great examples in Brazil, in Chile, and in Colombia, and other countries. So we see what we call a reverse flow. 10 years ago, people always thought about the best medical care to be in the US only. Now we have some good examples of certain treatment to be done at very high standards, probably the same as in the US on technology, expertise, and experience of the doctors. And we'll see that trend that many programs do not only offer the US as the international platform, but also regional centers of expertise. And it's also very nice to see how it develops on the different countries. And that poses also technical challenge on the pricing, because it will probably be more frequency. It's easier to travel from Argentina to Brazil than from Argentina to the US, for example. But at the same time, it's going to be more frequency, but less cost. So actuaries are crunching down how to price those trends as we speak, and eventually rates should be reflected in rates, which at lower rates eventually, depending on how many of X number of claims throughout the years are rendered in the region rather than in the US, specifically talking of international major medical plans. So we'll see those two trends. I foresee those are the two hottest trends in the region as we speak.